Nice. This is going to be a little bit of everywhere. So, basically, what we do is we film here.
Dude, okay, tell me real quick. I gotta learn a little bit about you because I know you're killing it on this. I like how you can do that. What's the other best feature on here?
I mean, really, with Instagram stories, there's like very few. Like the coolest thing is that you can upload.
That's cool. The best part about all this is that my reach is almost doubled on this that it does on Snapchat story.
Yeah,
because
people can find you.
Right, exactly. Well, they're already following.
Yeah, come like right here. This is perfect. Okay, so basically what we do is this is Facebook Live. That is Periscope. Okay, so we're Periscoping, Facebook Living. I'll take the video from the Facebook Live.
Okay.
And I'll pull it out. And then I'll take that video, edit that video, put it on YouTube.
Okay.
And then I'll take that audio, I'll put it on SoundCloud, which is feeding into our podcast.
Gotcha. So you're speaking, I'm looking at you, or I'm trying to hit maybe
You can hit there if you want to make it point directly to Periscope.
Okay. Facebook Live.
Both of these are live right now.
Sweet. Okay.
We are just like in Technicolor. Hello, welcome to Open House. This is where we invite you into our home, aka the home of our mind, to discuss things about business, about life, about real estate. Today, I'm so excited. I've got Sandy Roberts, a close friend, and definitely in the inner circle of people that I value their opinion and their thoughts on the world. So anyway, Sandy, thanks for swinging by.
Awesome to be on. It's an honor to be on the open house.
The open house, yeah. So today, Sandy's going to talk a little bit about running and a few different things involving like the Showalter Miler specifically. But I just want him to kind of start off and tell you guys a little bit about give us birth to now, kind of in 2 minutes.
Okay, cool. I'm from Raleigh, so this has been home. Running something I've done, it gave me the opportunity to basically come out of Raleigh to go to DC. I went to Georgetown for undergrad. Ran there 4 years. Awesome, important, foundational 4 years. Kind of set the trajectory of where I am now. Brought me back around to back into Raleigh to NC State for grad school. Kept running, and I've been here since 2010. So I've kind of seen Raleigh transition. It's been gone through just like a multiple evolution since I've growing up here, and it's been awesome.
Right, and you actually live inside. Have you lived in that same house like your entire life?
I've essentially lived in two.
Okay.
Not far from each other, but I mean, so Raleigh's home for me. Kind of always thought I would leave at some point. But I'll tell you, the way Raleigh, even the past 5 years, has changed, I think there's a real synergy that that you and others have really brought. That, man, I'm like, now there's some stuff going on, and I'd love to kind of see this thing through.
Oh yeah, definitely Raleigh's making some moves. There's like a few articles out right now actually saying, surprisingly, I don't know if it's that surprising, that Apex is like the #1 place to live in the country, which I was like, I just saw that as like a blog post, and I'm not sure if
Well, the problem with that is that everyone then moves to Apex and gets way overcrowded, too commercialized, and it's like, why do we, it's actually the kiss of death when you get those superlatives.
I think so, because everybody wants to move there, and then once everyone moves there, it's kind of like, oh, okay, well, now that everyone's here, now we got to get out.
So for me, one of the cool things about Raleigh is that if you drive, 15, 20 minutes from downtown Raleigh, you can be in a tobacco or corn or cotton field.
That's
I mean,
cool.
you literally feel like, and so the cool thing with that is with Apex, Cary to some extent, Clayton, Wake Forest, Roseville, you kind of have these smaller communities with a kind of a downtown Main Street USA feel that are surrounding Raleigh and the Triangle with the universities and the RTP. The people are like, man, I really like the vibe of this. Hey, downtown Apex, I got to give it to them. Awesome spot. I mean, I'm a Raleigh guy, through and through, that is. But downtown Apex is got a vibe. I'll have to give it to them.
They've got some cool stuff. I definitely enjoy Apex. I mean, we both live like pretty close to the core of Raleigh. We live like in downtown Raleigh. So like downtown Raleigh is basically like our grind.
Yeah, and I think downtown Raleigh, on the verge with the Union Station kind of that we're going to be getting. I think we're on the verge of some really cool transportation stuff. some really cool, some kind of housing situations going on. Like downtown Raleigh is going to be. I mean, listen, look out, Austin. I think Raleigh could be...
That's a gauntlet. I think you just threw a gauntlet, man.
I did, but listen, the guys that I'm talking to are doing way cooler stuff than I am, are saying, like, Raleigh's on the verge of kind of bringing that Austin feel in terms of creativity from the artistic point of view, the technological startup.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very bullish on Raleigh.
Yeah. Bullish on Raleigh?
Yeah, absolutely.
A Durham pun
True.
about Raleigh.
Seriously, you see what I did there? Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so that's like... Sandy's a Raleigh man, and also like let's kind of like just keep unpacking this a little bit. So you ran at Georgetown, you came back to Raleigh, you ran at State,
right?
And then that's where you got your master's.
That's right.
Is here at State, and then like post masters, I know that like running and like putting on races and there's like a few different things that are like in your DNA that you love.
Yeah, so for sure. I mean, I think that's. I don't know what the term is, Renaissance man. That's probably giving myself too much credit, but doing a lot of different things, master of none, but enjoying a lot, and running for sure is. I've had some goals with it. Unfortunately, been sidelined by some injuries, and so kind of had been forced into kind of a more creative meet management side, which is we've seen the creation of a really cool event here in Raleigh. But I'll tell you, for me. I love to serve people. Ministry, I mean, my faith is that's kind of what makes me tick. Like that's what gets me up in the morning.
Right.
So kind of that is infused from everything from the real estate, which I'm getting into, to even the church I'm at, to running. That's kind of at the core of man. It's like how can we serve? Like just kind of in a place of like man, I want to be an encouragement. So that kind of runs through all that I get to, and so that's kind of the leverage point that I use. But yeah, I mean. Running, I'm not going to lie, running is a big part of what's got me to this place, the life lessons that I've learned, and even some of the cool stuff I've been able to be a part of more recently. Yeah,
that's really cool. So if you weren't able to attend, like this past year, Sir Walter Myler, the first Friday of August.
That's exactly right.
It's going down. If you missed it this year, we'll be back around next year. But like, so Sir Walter Myler, super special night, and like for anyone who lives in Raleigh or around Raleigh.
You got to be there. Straight up. Don't even I mean... We're a year away, but don't even get me started on my Sir Walter grind.
Yeah. I mean, if you see Sandy during, I would say the month leading up, like he's in hustle mode like all throughout the year. Obviously, it's kind of like in his wiring, but that like final month, I kind of want to talk about that for maybe even the remainder of this entire episode, because like I think sometimes we like get in this like space. How important is after that month, you to rest. Like, because I know during that month, like you're going nonstop, like meetings in the morning, working all day, meetings at night, meetings like going to running clubs, like doing all these different things. What kind of momentum do you see during that month? And do you just crash? Like, talk to me about that.
No, I mean, I for better or for worse, I'm a momentum guy, right?
Yeah.
Like when things are on the up, I'm like, I feel unstoppable.
Sure.
But as soon as I hit some momentum wave or the event happens, man, I'm just like, it is like a crash. So I think for me, I've had to learn, man, how do I ride waves of momentum in a good way?
Right.
But then you've got, because like what you kind of get on this elevated high, right? Where like the whole, like this wave, and then when it crashes, a lot of times I'm getting sick, or if I don't get that rest. And so I'm still learning, right? I'm not going to sit here and say I figured out the rest game, because my whole thought with rest is like, okay, if I get a good 24-hour period where I get a good 10-hour block of sleep and I'm chilling, and I can get back on the grind.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't think I'm taking into account. I got to actually kind of set some time apart, actually get away from the hustle of the phone, or just the constant mental grind of like thinking about 10 different things at once. Who I need to get up with, what phone calls need to be made, who I need to check in with, who haven't I gotten up with recently.
Right.
And I think that's been the hard part. And I'm still learning, man. I'm gonna say that's probably one of the areas like I've got to grow, because if I'm gonna create sustainable rhythms of this life on the verge of marriage here, which I'm real pumped about, to even seeing Sir Walter grow in some other personal areas, man, it's like that rest.
Yes.
And but what does that rest look like? Like, is that like going to the beach for a weekend, turning off social media, and just being with my fiance? Is that set aside a whole day where I stay local, but like I hole up somewhere and really feel a part, and I'm reading or journaling or having just some time with the thought?
Yeah.
I've got to create those rhythms, and so that's where the area of rest, man, that I'm still still wrestling with.
Yeah. And I kind of like put Sandy on the spot with like even that whole concept. We didn't really have a format for today's like episode. I know that like something really special happens, and I'm going to tie this into real estate real quick, but something really special happens, I think, when you find the thing that you're passionate about and you're able to give it singleness of attention.
Yeah.
You know, because in that month leading up to Sir Walter, you know, you don't have to like really worry about like all these different distractions, because
right.
you know what you're doing.
Right.
And it's like a single-minded focus on getting the race to be as big as possible.
Right.
You know, as many people out to that race as possible. Like, who do I need to talk to? Where do I need to be? Who do I need, you know? So I just think that in real estate, a lot of times, like, people come back to the conversation about priorities.
Right.
People get distracted with a lot of the, like, detail of the work, and they get distracted with a lot of the minutia, and they forget that really at any given time you have one most important thing to do.
Yeah.
And you know, obviously you do that as like intensely as possible, but that light at the end of the tunnel, knowing that rest is coming, I think motivates us to get more done.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
No, absolutely. Like I said, I mean, I'm still kind of tired. I mean, here we are, you know, almost a month out of, you know, we're actually within the month, but
right.
we're getting close to a month out of Sir Walter, and I can't say I've had a time to really recoup.
Right.
I'll tell you the one thing I'm trying to do. Let me just be frank. I haven't done it, so just, you know. But one thing I do,
hold him accountable to this.
Yeah, please. No, it's important.
Yeah.
Is, I mean, where am I given some space to be able to kind of process what happens, to process Sir Walter for me,
sure.
or whatever the case, like that thing you've been shooting for, the opening of another coffee shop, or whatever the case, like,
right.
Where are you creating space where you can actually think through, man, like, man, there was that one guy who did a lot. Have I reached out to him to say thanks? Or like,
yeah.
I could see how this might have been construed. Maybe I need to reach back out and talk to and just issue an apology, whether it's one,
right.
you know, or have some time to think through, hey, next time we do this, or someone asks me, like, I would give this advice or something that we can work on for next year.
Right.
That's always the hardest part, because, like, for me, it's like Sir Walter's done. It's like, well, there's plenty of other things. I got wedding planning. There's real estate to be done. I mean, there's always something else. Yes. That will occupy time and space mentally, but also just like day to day.
Sure.
Am I really being disciplined and creating? Now, I think it's a restful place to do, but also like to do some kind of mental reprocessing, some personal feedback loops to say, yeah, man, here's some areas that I was overstretched or I thought underperformed. Here's some areas I thought we did well, and being able to do that, and think about who was really helpful in that.
Yeah. Yeah. And not,
does it make sense? I
yes,
mean,
no.
Am I just talking here? Or
I think that makes sense, and I think anybody watching or listening, I think that can resonate with us, because especially, you even told me like right after the race, you said, like, I just don't know where we can go from here.
Right.
And like even that one statement to me like got my like wheels turning. Like, you know, isn't that how life is? Like you marry that person, you know, sell that house, you
right.
hit that goal, and then once you do that, it's kind of like, well, what now?
Right.
Like, and I know that Sir Walter had a lot of success this year, and so like when you hit that level,
yeah, there
can almost be, I don't want to call it like a depression or a sadness, but it's almost like
postpartum,
right? Like, that's it.
Yeah,
that's it. That's the highest level that we can attain to, and kind of like looking back on an event like that and seeing the areas for improvement, seeing the areas where we could have done this a little bit better. I think that's the only way to do it.
Yeah,
and being grateful for the people who contributed and helped you get where you are, for sure. You know,
I'll just add in this. I think just kind of to maybe put a bow on this. I think one of the things too is a level of like, man, I also have to be content with who I am and where I am.
Yes.
Because like, if my identity is wrapped up in like Sir Walter's success or failure, okay, let's say it goes great. Well, the next day it becomes irrelevant because we've moved past it. If it's a failure, then I view myself in that lens.
Right.
I've got to have some consistency in my identity that's rooted in something I think deeper and more steady than an event or a paycheck or
right.
is someone going to list or not or I mean, even Andrew, who I love, right? Like, how does he view me? Because, I mean, that's,
Right.
one day you be like, Sandy's the man. Next day, like, that guy's annoying, you know? And so it's this kind of fluctuation. And so I think part of that, again, this theme of rest is some real steadiness and, like, who I am and what makes me tick, really being able to think through those things. Because then if not, it's like life becomes always searching for that next thing. It's like, so like, okay, now my mind's like, what's the next big rock activity or goal this fall? And I can just move to there. Well, man, that might not be 2 or 3 months away. Right. So am I going to just like, where am I going to be kind of mentally and emotionally during that period, right? Yes. Like, I've got to really ask, like, what makes me tick? Like, who am I? Like, these are some fundamental questions that rest gives you time to affirm and even to process. Yes. Got to always be doing better. For me, make it personal. Like, for me, that's where I need to grow. Perfect. Sandy Roberts needs to grow.
I mean, that's true. I think I can totally, relate with that. I think that's one of my biggest weaknesses is, like, even when we were on vacation, it took time for me to even get out of my work mindset because I get tunnel vision. And when I get tunnel vision, it's like, get out of my way. Yeah. I get bullish, kind of like what you do with Raleigh. Right. I get bullish with life. I just want to, like, take it by the horns and, like, take it another horn. Bull jokes. But
I mean, for me, even just, I don't know, Andrew, I think too, there's a level, and I think these are I think some overlapping themes here. I mean, there's like just a gratitude of who for me, it's a spiritual thing, who God has put in my life. And I want to make sure that there is, there's frustration, disappointment, even anger at points. Sure. But man, in the day, like, if I am in a restful place where I can take some kind of mental stock of where I am, like, gratitude is something I feel for, even just like getting to go get a cup of coffee up a brew with AJ, or getting to chop it up with you, or even the small things, the people who help with Sir Walter, Joe from Raleigh Coffee Company, or the people who helped me to put it on. You're just like, man, I just feel so grateful for the people that are in my life. Yes. Who are like-minded, but are just, man, willing to serve and to, just be a friend. And like, I want to always come back to that.
Yeah. That's
Again,
huge.
Overlapping themes, but all kind of centered on, I've got to be like, we've got to have rest to appreciate and really be able to ask some kind of internal questions, I think, is what I'm coming back to.
I love that. One last question, and then we're going to get our day, we're going to continue to crush this day. Because I know it's already been off and it's got some, you've been up for a while. I know I've been up for a while. But, okay, so the question I've been asking everybody right at the end is, give me some keys to, like, I've been asking everybody questions specific to their industry, right? And, like, to me, like, when I think runner, I think Sandy, and that's like, I've run with Sandy and I cannot even remotely keep up because it's like another level. But, like, so give me some keys, like, for people watching. What are some keys to longevity as a runner?
I think I'll make it personal. For me, I've got to realize I will not always be Sandy the elite runner, which is to say I will not always be identified in one vein of running. Like, I've now transitioned to, like, I hope to be an elite runner again, but I'm also doing putting on running races. At some point, I will just be getting out there to just do runs in a group. I may be pushing a son or daughter one day, hopefully. You know what I mean? Like, I'll take on different forms, and I think for longevity, you've got to be willing to be flexible with how, like, different seasons of it, right? And I think that's going to be, because then there's seasons of injury, right? And if, like, running is all I am, a season of injury where I can't do that would, in the past, has killed me. Now I'm getting a little bit more perspective. It's still hard. Don't get it twisted. It's still hard, but, like, being flexible with the seasons and realizing that, like, there are multiple ways to not only enjoy but to share it, right? So sometimes when I'm just running, I get really selfish. But when I'm putting on the race, I get to share in other people's joy. And that's even just been it's brought me just as, like, much joy as even getting a personal best myself. Right. Which is, why
contentment with where you are and being grateful for where you are.
Exactly. Nailed it, and that's it. And so I think that's for longevity for running. But I think we'd be easily to jump into any other facet of life.
And I think that, like, for anyone watching or listening, like, this is coming through, like, in business, it's important to, like, be grateful today. If you're not grateful going into your day, I think that your perspective of the whole day is skewed. If you're not starting your day with gratitude, just being like grateful for where God has you and for where, you know, He's brought you.
Yeah.
You know, not only where He has you going, but where He's brought you from.
Right.
I think that it's easy to become very, very skeptical and very cynical and very like woe is me mentality about every day, because, you know, life is way too short to get so wrapped up in like and not reach out to my wife and say that I'm thankful for her.
Yeah, come on, man.
You know,
preaching this morning, Doc. Come on,
all that stuff. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching on
it.
Periscope, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you are finding this. I just want to thank Sandy. Thank you so much for your time.
It's honored.
I really appreciate it.
Anytime you get on the open house, man, it's a gift. Come on.
Ooh, okay. So, guys, attack today with some seriously intense amounts of gratitude.
There we go.
Stay thankful. We'll see you next time.
All right. Take it easy. Boom. Awesome. All right. I'm going to rock with it. I got church. Can I get copies of this?
Yeah.
This piece? Is that going to cost me? Or is that part of our... Is that good? It's just like hard to...